Every single day, we're just bombarded with new apps, new gadgets, new software, and they all promise to make our lives easier or faster or just more fun. But have you ever really stopped to think about why you keep some and just delete the others?
I mean, think about it. How many different food delivery apps have you tried over the years? Chances are you have one, maybe two, that you actually stick with. So what made them the winners? Why did you pick that one over all the rest?
Well, it turns out our decision-making isn't as random as you might think. Actually, there's a surprisingly consistent pattern to how we decide to adopt new tech, and it's something researchers have been digging into for decades.
Okay, so let's get into it. It's called the Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM for short. It was first introduced way back in 1989 by Fred Davis, and it's basically the original blueprint for figuring out if a new piece of technology is going to be a smash hit or a total flop.
Now, at its core, the model is really simple. It suggests that deep down we're all asking ourselves two basic questions. First, is this thing easy to figure out? The model calls that perceived ease of use. And second, is this actually going to help me do something important? That's perceived usefulness. And if the answer to both is a big yes, well, that creates a positive feeling, which leads to us wanting to use it, and finally, to us actually using it.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does it really stack up in the real world? Let's put it to the test with those food apps we were just talking about.
A recent study did exactly that. Researchers went out and surveyed over 200 people using food delivery apps in Bangkok, trying to pinpoint the exact reasons they chose one app over another.
And here are the results. Now, this is what I find fascinating, the ranking of what people cared about most. You can see that the core performance of the app and how secure it is, those are way up top. Things like special deals and even the number of restaurants came in second. So let's zoom in on that number one factor for a second.
That top factor, with a really high score of 4.37 out of 5, was something they call performance expectation. You can basically think of this as the modern, updated version of that perceived usefulness from the original 1989 model.
So what does that actually mean? In simple terms, it means that before anything else, the app just has to work, and work well. Does it get me my food fast? Does it save me time? Does it give me good options? Because if the tech doesn't deliver on its main promise, absolutely nothing else matters.
But the story doesn't end there. Come on, our relationship with technology has gotten way more complicated since 1989, right? So the original model has evolved, and it now includes some new, really important factors that are critical today.
So if performance is number one, what's number two? Well, the Bangkok study showed that the second highest factor was privacy and security. This tells us that right after we ask, does it work, the very next question on our minds is it safe?
And this isn't just about food apps either. This connects to a massive global trend. A 2024 World Economic Forum report found that nearly 3/4 of us are more likely to trust companies that are just open and honest about how they use tech like AI. Trust is no longer a nice-to-have, it's a deal breaker.
We also see this evolution in why we start using something. At first, social influence is a huge driver, right? We try an app because our friends are all using it, but the real goal for any technology is to move past that and become a habit, something that's so woven into our daily lives that we don't even think about using it anymore.
And this journey, from a social trend to an essential habit, isn't just happening in our personal lives. It's becoming even more critical in our professional lives, where new technology isn't just a convenience, it's completely reshaping the way we work. I mean, we're seeing advanced robotics and AI stepping out from behind the factory cage and into our daily work environments. From massive logistics warehouses to the pharmacies in our hospitals, these systems are now working right alongside people.
Now, some research from Eurofound points out that this close collaboration can bring some real challenges. Workers who use these systems sometimes report that the pace of work gets more intense, there's more surveillance, and they feel like they have less control over their own tasks.
But, and this is a huge but, the flip side is that the potential benefits are massive. These same technologies can make workplaces dramatically safer, they can take over boring and physically draining jobs, and they can free up human workers to focus on more creative, problem-solving challenges.
So, here's the crucial point. The research suggests the technology itself isn't inherently good or bad. Whether it makes work better or worse really comes down to how it's designed and rolled out. It all depends on management choices that put people first, not just productivity.
Okay, let's bring this all home. What's the big idea we should take away from this journey through the technology acceptance model?
It really boils down to three key tests that any new tech has to pass. First, utility. Does it actually work and solve a real problem for me? Second, usability. Is it simple and intuitive to use? And third, a factor that's more important than ever, trust. Can I count on it to be safe, secure, and transparent with my data?
Look, the next big thing is always just around the corner. We know it's coming. But now, when you see it, you have the framework to look past the hype. You can ask the right questions and decide for yourself if it's a technology that's truly built for us. So, the question is, will it pass the test?